Line 4, Steve in Phoenix.
Hello.
Hello, Steve.
How you doing?
Okay, I'm all right.
Have you called before?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to keep you to, let's say, 7 minutes.
Okay. It may not take that long. I don't know.
All right.
Okay. Basically, I watched a couple of YouTube's debates between Matt D and Matt Slick.
Uh-huh.
Okay, on the tag argument. Okay.
Okay.
And during that debate, they were talking about laws of logic and whether or not they were absolute. Okay. Mm-hmm. Matt took the position that yes, they were, and he posed a question that if the laws of logic were absolute, then no mind was required. Okay. So he posed the question: is a rock a rock? If we remove all the minds, is a rock still a rock? Mm-hmm. And he said that he didn't see any reason why it wouldn't be. So yes, it is. Okay. And that's where I don't understand. That's what I need clarification on, because I looked at that question, and for the life of me, I couldn't figure out how he came to that, because, if it's a label, then obviously it's something that we put on it, and it's not a rock if we don't label it. So for mine to go.
No. You're mixing up terminology with
think of
existence.
Think of it this way. You're right. Like, the rock may just be the label we put on the thing. The law of logic may simply be the principle that we have come up with to describe a condition of existence. But the condition still is what it is, even if there is no mind there to perceive it. So in a universe with no living, thinking beings, it would still be the case that A equals A and A does not equal not A.
Okay.
So that would just be,
Okay, so he's not actually talking about an actual rock then.
Well, that may have been an example he was using, but it's probably better to just talk in general, like in general symbolic terms. Say, A is A is not A. Because you could say rock, refrigerator, whatever. It's probably, but if it makes it more easy to understand, referring to it in those terms, that I think is really what he meant.
Okay, so that's what I say. If you can't use, so you can't really use any kind of analogy, because our reality is relative, right? I mean, everything's constantly changing, so you could, a rock.
No, that's not right.
No? Okay, well, let me ask you this. If I have a rock in one hand and dirt in the other, can I call both of them rocks? I mean, they're made of the same thing.
You can call them both hippopotamuses if you want. Language is a different thing from what they actually are.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's where I get confused. Is if I have a rock, they're made of the same thing. Okay?
Well, then think of it this way. Think of it as like, is it matter or is it not matter? Right? I mean, do you have something in your hand that is made out of matter? Do you have something that is A, represented by the symbol A, or is it, whether you are there to hold it in your hand and perceive it or not, that item, that piece of matter, that thing that exists would be what it is, and it would not be not what it is. Yeah,
right.
I mean, it's
the whole idea being basically that people are limited in their perceptions of reality, but at some point we all have to sort of agree that there is a reality to observe. There is a thing outside of my personal subjective experience that I am trying to accurately describe when I say I know something is true or not. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, well, I understand. So there is an absolute reality then.
Sure.
Okay, but
I mean, as far as I'm aware.
Then this is not it.
What do you mean?
How would you?
Well, because if something is absolute, doesn't that mean that it is not changing?
No.
That's not what absolute means? Is it unchanging?
No, time is another dimension, just like things in space. So when you go from here to here, like you start over here and you've got an air molecule, and you start over here and you've got a piece of the table. Moving along, the universe is not uniform in space because there are different things in different places. The universe is also not uniform in time because as you move along the timeline, things also change. So, but what you identify at any particular point in space in any particular point in time is not relative, although stuff like Heisenberg's law starts really confusing stuff. But let's not get into that just yet.
Yeah, well, you're talking over my head when you start talking about that anyway.
Okay, well, I mean, you are asking complicated scientific questions to a couple of lay people is the problem.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but there are
okay.
basic, easy to grasp principles, and I think that if you take it down to the notion that there is an objective reality outside of us, outside of our perception of it. If we were not here, and, if all of us today, all of us in this studio, if you in your house and everyone you knew, if we all perish tomorrow, the universe and the reality in which it exists continues on without us, without our minds to perceive it. There will be other minds to perceive it, but at a certain point, our planet will cease to exist. All life upon it will cease to exist. But there will still be a universe going on, a universe made out of matter, that will perpetuate, that will just continue along its path long after our sun has expanded and boiled our Earth to pieces. So that will still be a condition. So it's, if you just want to talk about the laws that we use to describe these conditions, and these are very, very basic conditions like the law of identity and excluded middle and what have you. These would be things that would be valid regardless of whether or not we are here to experience them and to put labels on them.
Okay.
That's really all. So that's kind of that's a simple way to think about it that hopefully is sort of easy to grasp.
Okay. Well, it helps a little.
Okay. All right. Philosophers have pored over this stuff since before the ancient Greeks.
Right.
I know. Now, they ain't figured it out yet. There may not be an answer.
All right. Thanks for calling.
But yeah, thanks very much for the calling.
Bye.